time for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Arraj.
Oh, man, we kicked off right before the game, like seconds before the game. I was trying to see if it was going to be at the exact same time. Not quite, but I knew you guys would be watching.
I think it was. No, literally right when they kicked the ball.
Right when they
Man,
kicked
it
off.
was. We kicked off
they
like
kicked
3
off on
seconds
time.
before on my TV, but it was
Maybe
like
my
right.
phone is behind.
It was right there on time. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, I figured you guys would be locked in. The football fans would be watching the Copa game, and of course, it's kind of the game of the night, I guess,
Right.
on the worldwide sports spectrum, sort of. So I'm checking that out with you guys. But we're talking local sports, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about this game as it progresses as well. Max and I were already talking. We were already admiring Uruguay's kits. Big fan of Uruguay's.
Pretty cool.
They're nice.
Yep.
Yeah, they're nice.
The Carolina Blue.
But yeah, we'll continue to check in on that game. But we're going to talk some local sports. Not a ton going on right now. Legion teams are off this week, and then next week will be final regular season week with Walterboro and Beaufort going head to head. So not much happening there. I don't think anybody ended up winning state championships this weekend. I didn't get a chance to track down it. My life has been, I'm barely human at this point. We had the Atlanta trip this weekend, have played 2 on Saturday, went to the ball game, the Braves game, did the show from Twin Peaks in Kennesaw. That was a fun time. That was surreal. That whole show was a blur because I was already so sleep deprived at that point. And then I got another bad night of hotel sleep, sharing a bed, just not a good situation. And ended up, up early again, coaching 2 more because we won game 1. A really tough game. Just really, we were able to grind out a tough win against a pretty good team. It was like 21-7 or something like that. Atlanta area squad. So they've won a lot more than they've lost. You figure they're pretty good. And they were, and we were able to hold them off. And then we played the best dang professional hitting 13-year-olds I've ever seen in my life from Warner Robbins. 5-star Warner Robbins. Salute to you. Just really, really disciplined, well-trained hitters who worked the backside incredibly, had great 2-strike approach, so that allowed them to really let it rip early in the count and really punish mistakes. And we didn't have our one of our aces on the mound against them, unfortunately. We had already kind of used some up to get to that point, and one was not pitching this weekend. Our top guy wasn't pitching this weekend, just precautionary, because we just don't take chances on that stuff. So it would have been nice to have him, but they were phenomenal. I don't think it would have mattered. They were so good. And they waxed us pretty good in the semis, but we finished top 4 out of 16 teams in, one of the better cities in America as far as baseball talent goes. I'd say maybe Dallas is ahead of Atlanta, but there's not a lot of places where it's more of like a baseball hotbed than Atlanta. So it's cool to be able to go see that every now and then and see what it looks like, and see how you measure up. So that was cool. But how you boys doing? And then today, sorry, almost I would be remiss. Today it was my daughter's birthday. So I've basically been, that's been my job today is whatever she needs. There was a party. It went off well. I got the pizzas. I did whatever I could do for that. Truman cut the grass. Like, it was a all-in effort after the baseball tournament this weekend to turn it around. We were like the grounds crew, pit crew, turning it around for a birthday party today. But it happened, and it was the best birthday ever so far. So she's already said, like, well, my Sweet 16 better be better. Well, this one was pretty good. You know how it goes. But how you boys doing since I talked to you on Saturday? Wes, you guys, you and Bracken did a Sand Shark Rewind last night.
Yeah, I got to talk with Coach Up, the new interim head coach of the USCB Women's Soccer Sand Sharks. Great interview. Really, really enjoyed talking to him. And I'm pumped to see this team back in action because they've had a lot of strong returners coming back, especially the defense, the back line of some players like Lee White, Adriana Martin, and even including someone like Murray Calvatin. They've been able to make a couple of nice key additions as well. Of course, you still have Sinbai Anderson, Savannah Page coming back, so the offense will still be there for this USCB squad. And I'm really impressed by Coach Huff, and I think being there for a year under Jay Harris, see how he runs things, and now he'll have a chance to make his own, different changes for how things are done, but at the same time, continue the culture that he saw. So I think it's a decision that we've seen for a while. USCB, like they've had a lot of interim head coaches. We saw Jay Harris have a chance to be an interim head coach, and they removed the tag. Obviously, the rest is history. He had a great run there. So, great opportunity for Coach Hoff to make his stamp on this program and kind of have that full audition process. Kind of get to live it out for a season, see where it goes from there. But I'm pumped to get back to this St. Sharks season because it's a ton of fun, and I think this team has the opportunity to do big things in the Peach Belt as well.
Yeah, I mean they're really. I mean they had quite a bit of success last year, so to have a lot of players returning, I think they're going to be one of those teams in the Peach Belt Conference that everyone needs to keep an eye on because with how successful they were last year, I have a really good feeling that they can be one of the top runners for in the Peach Belt Conference this coming year.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that the recruit, the profile of the type of recruit they're able to bring in continues to elevate as they continue the transition and gain eligibility to compete for more things and all those things. Because that transition is sort of winding down now. That's not part of the pitch that you have to overcome. Something you have to overcome in the pitch anymore. So that you should see that increasing. Coach Huff has. I like the kind of audition thing. Like, it's like you got a year. If it goes good, you're gonna get the job. If it goes bad, then we'll probably all be happy to move on and start the process next year.
Yeah, and it's also a much smoother transition as well, rather than
absolutely
bringing in a brand new coach, a brand new staff. Transition.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't give the internal candidate an opportunity, there's going to be a faction that you sort of lose and might never get back just from that decision. And there's just going to be a little bit of a tension among the team. There'll be his people who aren't happy. And this way, it's kind of like this keeps everybody happy for now. And if it doesn't go well, then then you're going to have to do it anyway, and then everybody he won't have any people then, everybody will be ready to move on. That's kind of what I meant by that. I think it's a good way to go about it. I mean, obviously, if they had a big splash hire, like if they had gotten a candidate who like blew them out of the water, then you might make that move. Especially if it was a candidate who happened to be keen to keeping Dan on staff. But that's the other thing is sometimes, and I know USAB has kind of made this part of their pitch in the past, and doesn't mean they have this time, but sometimes they'll go into the interview process, and both the interviewee and the interviewer are feeling each other out. There's no guarantee the person's going to accept the job even if you offer it. But a lot of times in these cases, when there is an existing assistant on staff that you like and you want to retain, when you interview external candidates, that'll be part of the deal. Is we have an existing assistant, we intend to retain them, so you will be retaining them on your staff. And for some candidates, that's a deal breaker because they intend to bring their own assistant. And if that's the only assistant on staff, then it's just like, nope, we're a package deal, can't do it. So that does impact searches. And I think that's another reason sometimes why internal candidates, especially at smaller schools, get the opportunity on an interim basis, because it's kind of risk-free audition. And then, if it doesn't work, if they're not ready, we'll all know it after this year, and we'll go in a different direction. So, I hope that works out great for them. I look forward to being able to watch that interview. Like I said, I've been a laborer today in service to an 11-year-old girl, but I look forward to watching that episode. of Sand Shark Rewind. Probably would have watched it on the way home last night with Truman and at least listened to it if it was just us. But we had the girls, and again, the birthday weekend was in progress.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that was a deal
it's
breaker.
a
We were
it's
not
a
listening to Sand
really
Shark
good.
Rewind on the way home.
Yeah, it was a really good interview. So I would encourage anyone watching tonight, go watch it so you can understand what this upcoming season looks like for USCB.
Right on, man. How was your weekend, Max? The rest of your weekend, I should say.
It was really good, real quiet. So I got time to relax during the weekend. Spend time with family. Just watching baseball as always, and just sitting back and relaxing and not being outside in the 100+ degree
Yeah.
weather.
Oh, I've been outside in it and constantly. I think that's why I'm subhuman at this point because
Yeah,
between
it
the
wears you out.
ballpark and yard work today, like I've sweat buckets and buckets, and I probably just need to like stay indoors and hydrate for a couple of days. I haven't been paying close attention, but every time I look up, it seems like USA has sort of been on the attack
They've
and
been
having
they've
some
been in control
opportunities.
so far.
Yeah, that was quite a dive by Uruguay there.
Yeah.
Um, quite a dive. But we do have a guest waiting in the green room, so we'll shout out some sponsors and then get to him. We've got the MVP sponsors of Loco Sports. Start with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Loco Sports, with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry. Although she has told me that if I can sell the official realtor of Loco Sports, it's yours for the taking. We'll take the money. She'll make her own way. So, but Megan Jarrett is the official realtor of Loco Sports, and if you want to find your place in the Loco, she'd love to help you. The Homegrown Home Inspections is our official home inspector. Jan Lucas and his team are the best home inspectors in the area, and they're going to check it out from top to bottom. If you're building a new home, you got to have that phased inspection, and they'll check on it every step of the way. Make sure it's built right with Homegrown Home Inspections. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry is the official hospice provider of Loco Sports, the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County, providing palliative care, hospice care, and free grief counseling, plus much more. And just a great community organization at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. And our original sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm, our official real estate closing attorney, and our presenting sponsor of our Hilton Christian Academy coverage. They've been with us since the beginning. So please call in Mickelson Law Firm for all your legal needs. Great spot right downtown in Bluffton, too. Yeah, just beautiful. Corner of Main and Main, as you would say. But we're going to, what's that?
So they've been all over them these last few minutes. Americans getting some good chances on Uruguay.
Oh, that's what you were oofing about. Yeah, I was focused on my sponsor reads while there was excitement in the Copa America. But we do have a guest tonight, and he is one of the fastest men in the Lowcountry, young men in the Lowcountry, and he's going to be repping the Lowco at AAU Junior Nationals. We got Jonathan Kelley, the Jet. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, you've been on our radar for a long time because you're active on the social media. So, you've been hitting us with highlights since you were like in middle school. So we've been knowing that you were coming up, and we're always tuned into what you're up to because you're good at PR, man. We got to get you to be one of our interns or something because you're so good at collecting all the relevant information, keeping us in tune with what's happening with the Palmetto Roadrunners. Anybody else make it through to the Nationals with you this weekend?
Not that I know of. I would have
Just
to.
you? Right on. Right on. Well, congratulations. Tell us about your season because we've kept up with you to a point, but I definitely have fallen off a little bit here the last few weeks as I've gotten busy with other stuff. I haven't been able to dig into the results, but I know you qualified in 2 events in the hurdles and the long jump. Is that right? So you're going to nationals. So tell us about this weekend, and then about what's coming up with nationals. What that entails.
Well, this weekend, the past weekend has been very fun for me to be able to another meet and so forth. Continue on with my summer trek. And, I really enjoyed having the opportunity to make it again. I didn't go But I did the first year. I did summer track, so being able to going. This is my second time going. Will be is a great thing for. Um, Recently around the past few weeks, meets has been going well for the team. I mean, a lot of recent PRs from not just only me, but from teammates as well. Practice has been very not only hardworking, but fun, getting along to mingle and to enjoy a sport that we all do. Even though some days may be tough, we still all enjoy, practicing, getting along with each other as a team as a whole. Um, Nationals, I'm kind of looking forward to that, even though it's kind of down the line and time is running out to prepare for it. But I think I'm ready for it. Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, we're really proud of what you've been doing and excited to watch your journey. But tell me about how you got into track and field and what pushed you to continue to improve and get to an elite level at your sport at this age.
Well, I was, I want to say I was already fast. I was already pretty fast for my age from the jump. So when I was competing in other sports, I decided, why not just try track? So I tried that younger, like very young, 6, 7, and I kind of just put. But then once I got back into middle school, I started running for Robert Smalls, and that's ever since then I fell in love with it, and I just knew that this is a sport that I can become better at and potentially to go pro with. So that's why I.
So that's the long-term goal at this point is to I mean I guess when you talk about going pro in track and field you're really talking about the Olympics, right? I mean that's kind of the
Right.
goal at the end of that rainbow. So are you still planning to play other sports, or are you all in on track all the time at this point? You're still playing football, basketball, everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're still playing multiple sports. I know Jerry Hatcher will be glad to hear that because he definitely been having ideas for you for a long time. I guarantee you. So tell us a little bit about have you been doing some summer training with the Warriors? You getting ready for football season this year?
Yeah, not I haven't went to any practices yet, but I'm going to practices later on in this month. Trying to put most of my focus on nationals since that's like
Yep.
the now. But yeah, after nationals is be right into football.
Well, I mean, your track training is essentially your football training for the most part anyway, because I'm guessing you're playing what, wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your job is to be fast. Like that's your
Right.
job on the football field is to be fast. So track training equals football training, and so that's good. But so getting back to the Olympics though, you able to tune in to these track and field trials and see, first Sam Gilman from Hilton Head competing, and then Michael Dixon from Bluffton or from Buford, excuse me, somebody with ties to your people how cool is that to see somebody that you kind of have known of as he's climbed up through the ranks competing on that level that you want to be on? I mean, that's got to be a really cool thing for you to kind of see the through line from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah, when I first seen it, I was actually in the restaurant with yeah, and it was all shouting out, "Oh yeah, I know him. We was used to the time." I was like, "Oh." So I first when I first seen him, but then once they filled me in on who he was, I was like, "Oh wow!" Like people from here actually can go to places like that, and actually to be able to compete and have a chance to actually be big and stuff. So I thought that was very inspirational because like knowing that if he could do it, I mean, I'm pretty sure I could.
No doubt about it. Max, you got any questions for the Jet?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, future plans are obviously to go pro. But in terms of the college route, are there any colleges you're currently looking at right now to compete at the next level?
Um, of course, I'm looking at D. I would love to go to a D1 college like A&T or LSU, colleges like that because I would like to get that advanced training and that advanced experience to boost me to be able to compete for level.
Yeah, and the AAU Junior
Yeah.
Olympics are at NCA and T, right? So I mean that's a top class facility. We
Yep.
have a Lowco guy on his way there, Zion Dobson from Hampton County, going to play football up there. So we got an in. We know a guy up there. We'll try to put in a word for you, but you're still a little bit a little way away from having to make that decision, just going into your junior year, right? So you still got a couple, but this is the big year, right? This is the year that you make your mark, you get on people's radar, and then you hope that you can show out once you're on their radar in your senior year, and get those offers, get that opportunity. So what's your give people a little bit of an understanding of like how much of your time, energy, and effort is going into that singular goal of getting recruited, and what all that means. I mean, it's not just training for track and field, but it's keeping your grades at a certain level, and it's studying for the right tests, and all those things to get on the have the academic profile that you need to be where you want to be. So give people just a little bit of a glimpse inside the thought process of somebody like yourself who's trying to not only manage the difficulties of being a teenager, but also trying to plan for some big dreams in the future.
Well, I wouldn't say it's difficult, but there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things that you can choose from, and that could lead up to being difficult for you to choose from. But me personally, education is always my first thing with everything. Before I even go to practice, before I go to training for everything, I always make sure that I'm on top of my education, work, studying. Being that I am a TCL dual,
Dual enrollment. Yeah.
that is another key thing that's on top of not only high school, but grade, making sure that those classes are on top of the I've grades in that to where I could be able to boost my credits and GPA and make them go lower by making bad grades or bad the choices plays a big role. So I take anything with me. It also like helps me encourage and helps me pave a better leadway to making those decisions. And with that education, sports and training, not only do I train with a team, it's also like training behind scenes on your own as well. As in like icing and recovery. That's all. Yeah, you can do that with your team, but doing that as well on your own is also a boost. So you might see things with the team of things that you have to do on your own.
That's right. Work never stops.
Yep. Jonathan, tell me more about going to your training a bit, and tell me about at this age what goes into a normal session of training, whether it's on the track or just working out in the gym. Just what kind of goes into what you do and how you aspire to become the best possible athlete on the track.
Well, training is, you know, being able to start off with sleep is good night or sleep for you to be able to and being hydrated rather than tired as easily. Um, when it's a goes into warming up because you can't just come out and start running or you just cannot just come out and just start because that's an easy way to lead to an injury. So warming up for me almost the longest part of training for me because I had to make sure I'm warm that I'm able to do the things that I can do at the fastest rate as I can. Training is like food to me. So when I train, it's always on go. Like for example, when I do hurdles, I stretch for hurdles. Then I go into my steps, and I go into my first hurdle. Then I go to my second. Then I go to my third, and I do it over until I got it right. And a hurdle isn't my form isn't the way how I want it. I will sit there and do that for the rest of the practice until I'm comfortable leaving practice that I am able to continue that form, be consistent with it when I do hurdles. Same thing with long sprint coming out of blocks, especially for me doing 100 and 200. I mean, the 100 and 200, those starts are different from each other. 100 straight, the 200 curve. You can't come off the 100, and you can't come off the 100, 200. So being those things that I do different events and have to juggle all those and train for each separate event with different techniques and different tactics is always, not, I won't say a challenge, but always level for certain people.
Little things matter. It's all in the details. I mean, I listen to you talk about it and I think like, oh yeah, that's kind of like a baseball player. Like you do your tee work and you keep swinging until it feels right. And then you do it that way as many times as you can. So there's only one way to do it, like, and that sounds like you talking about, you can't move on until it's right. Cause you can't train bad habits, or you have to untrain them and retrain the good habits. So yeah, it's all about the little things. It's all about the details. Whatever you do, really. I mean, whatever sport you play. But in track and field, it's interesting. I love when we go inside baseball, so to speak, like go inside your brain and what really makes you great. So the love for track, I mean, obviously it comes first as you're fast, and then there's a love for running. When did you really develop the love for like the craft, and who were some of the people who kind of developed in you that love for the craft of track and field, and of like you said, training to build the muscle memory to do it consistently the right way every single time? You have to really be invested in kind of the craft of it. So how'd you get to that point?
Well, middle school, I would just run as okay, another sport to do, and I'm good at it. But what it to me is when I went to Well Branch with Coach T and the other coaches, with Coach Ron and Coach Castor and the rest of that's when I finally realized that middle school track and high school track are two different things. They are two different ways. So when I first got out there, I remember being clueless with everything because like their Well Branch warm ups is not no 15-minute warm up or 5-minute warm up. Their warm up is like 30 minutes. And when I'm done, are we ready to go? Are we this it for today? And once I realized the difference of the two, I kind of just sat there and was like, so there's more to than just running. There's more on the track. There's more to just getting out of blocks. There's more to all of that. So once I realized that, and not only just the craft itself, the people who I helped it, not only I was ready to do it, were encouraging and was ready to work.
Yeah, just being fast wasn't enough anymore. So you go to North Carolina in what, right at the end of July, start of August, somewhere. I was trying to get up the schedule to see when your actual events were, because they're sometimes spread out all over the place, right? Do you know yet what days you compete?
I'm not sure. I think long jump will be on a Monday, and hurdles will be like on a Wednesday or something like that. I'm not sure because I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but I know it's the whole event is a week long, and if then you go to finals, which could be at the semis, can be at the beginning of the week, and finals could be at the end of the week. So you really don't know until you get.
Yeah, you gotta pack a suitcase because you plan on being there all week, right? You get to try out all the local restaurants. Well, any more questions for Jonathan before we let him go, fellas?
Yeah, you are interested in playing football as well. Have you been, getting ready for the opportunity, and what are you seeing from this Wellbridge team, and how fun has it been able to watch this Warriors team compete with Jarrett Hatcher at the helm coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for it, and I'm ready to get because not only was I on JV freshman year and my sophomore year, I've got to take the varsity experience last year. So now that I know the the roles of things this year, it won't be brand new to me, but for Hatcher to be able to depend on me, it would be very much more experience for me to perform actually the show and to help out our team in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You've been waiting. You've been paying your dues and waiting your turn. You've had some really good guys in front of you the last couple of years, and now you get a chance to shine. And I imagine you and Jermon Bowers have a pretty good chemistry. You've probably played together quite a bit coming up, right?
Jay,
Yeah, so that'll be fun to watch.
middle school, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun to watch. I think you guys will be a problem this year, and you'll be in 2A now, so that'll be interesting. You got to tangle with Hampton. Those kids are pretty tough, both in football and in track. I think that's going to be a great rivalry between Whale Branch and Hampton County in track in particular. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
They're good. They're on your level, and there's not a lot of people in 1A on your level, but not like on your level. Okay, I saw you there. But they're a little more on your level than a lot of your competition has been. So it's gonna be pretty good. There'll be some good fights for the region, and Woodland's in there too, right?
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're like we ain't worried about it. Wilbur and Strack's got some swagger. The Whale Branch Strack and the Whale Branch Band both got some swagger. So
Oh, they do.
They got swagger, man.
I love
It's
that Whale
crazy.
Branch Band. How about that Whale
Yeah.
Branch Band? Shout them out.
They up there.
They do their
They're up
thing.
there. They're up there. All right. Well, Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us tonight, man. We've been talking about it for a long time. It's great to get you on here, and I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road. Go rep the Lowco well up at A&T and bring home some hardware, man.
Will do. Will do.
All right. Take care. We appreciate you.
Anytime.
All right. That's Jonathan Kelley, the Jet. We're all mixed up, boys. Woo!
There we go.
That
All
was
right.
fun. That was
It's like
fun.
musical chairs.
Yeah, it was Chinese fire drill, which I saw one of those this weekend. I was like, "Whoa!" I just saw the driver and the passenger person just switch places. Uh, that just happened. But no, cool to catch up with the Jet. We've been talking about him for years because
Yeah.
we've been seeing like his highlights when he was in middle school and keeping up with his track results. And it's cool to watch the next big thing. Like grow up and be the big thing. So pretty cool. Good kid, smart kid. Got the right priorities.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's
Love to
important.
see
You got to have the drive academically as well as on the field, the track, etc. So he's got the right
Yeah.
mindset.
And I love. I was going to get into this with him, and then my brain went a different direction. But I can say it now. I love the way the kids at Whale Branch, the kids who intend to play college sports, have leveraged the dual enrollment thing
Yeah.
to pile up credits from TCL before they graduate, and then a lot of those transfer wherever they go, and they end up getting their undergraduate degree while they still have 1 or sometimes 2 years of eligibility left. And with the new world order being what it is, they get in that portal and they got a couple years to go play somewhere and get a graduate degree
Yep.
and keep developing. Those guys at Jackson State now, KJ Chisholm's there now too as a freshman, but Irv Mulligan, like they're talking about him as like a Heisman Trophy candidate type. Like if he has a great year, they'll like make a push for him as a Heisman candidate. Jaheim Hazel's there too, and they're both working on their second degree. Miles Pinckney got 2 degrees out of the deal from Clemson and Minnesota. D. Delaney got 2 degrees out of the deal and is in the league. Like these guys, they're equipped to know how to play the game, not only from the athletic standpoint, but also from the academic standpoint to leverage the ability into the educational opportunity that sets you up for life. And kudos to not just the kids, but the families, the mentors, the leaders, the
It's
administration, everybody at Whale Branch for giving them a blueprint and just allowing them to navigate
Yeah.
it and get the most out of it. It's just awesome to see. It's what it's supposed to look like. So varsity sponsors of Loco Sports, DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for businesses and nonprofits that get results. So if you want to do more and think bigger and get found online, go to ddshhi.com and get started today. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. Man, Jet was throwing shade at Hampton, man. He's trying to start a war. But Parker Law Group helping us expand our coverage into those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes across the Lowcountry. Dr. Ambrose Coles, our official chiropractor. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton. He'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And you might not even notice, but his dog's in there, Cloud. She's probably in that little thing in the corner, and sometimes she's super quiet and you don't know she's there, and sometimes she whines and it's so cute and you can go pet her. But Reverence Wrestling Club is the official wrestling sponsor of Loco Sports and the presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind, and a great place to take your skills on the mat to the next level. Not much going on this week, boys. It's a slow week, so
It's
we'll
dead
be
week.
rambling. Yeah. It's
Holiday week.
it's the holiday week. 36 minutes in, we're in the 37th minute, no score, but USA is still controlling.
I think
But Uruguay,
need
great
to-
chance. Defender was able to save it from going in because the goalkeeper was out of position, and that was a nice.
The Uruguayan fellow is down and being very dramatic.
So Panama is up 1-0 on Bolivia.
So
what do we need to happen?
Here's what needs to happen. So basically, for the United States, they need to have a 1-0 win as of right now, because they have to match whatever the score is Panama against Bolivia, because we all know Panama is going to beat Bolivia, because Bolivia is one of the worst teams in the Copa America this year. So they need to match the same as Panama's score, because if they don't, and Panama has a better game than they do, the United States is out. But if the United States can match or have a better result than Panama, they will get into the knockout rounds.
They have
a match or have a better result.
Now, if Panama were for some reason to lose or draw, the United States would advance with a win or draw. But if they lose, Panama is in.
Yeah, judging like what we're seeing the other scores, USA needs a win, and they may need a win by 2 goals, depending on what Panama does in terms of because Panama runs up the score.
Right now, it's basically on goal difference, and for right now, Panama with the score they have right now has that goal difference, so they will get in.
I do love how they play the game simultaneously, so you can't juke it entirely.
And this is what again, like we mentioned the other night, this is also part of what I'm worried about, because you're playing Uruguay, which is probably outside of the United States the second best team in this group, and Panama's playing probably the worst team in this group, if not one of the worst.
Has Uruguay already advanced regardless?
Yeah, I believe they have.
Based on, they're pretty much.
But they would still like to keep the U.S. out.
Technically, they haven't advanced yet, but they kind of have, because on goal difference, they're in already.
Yeah,
like it would have to be a disaster.
If they lose, they should still get in based on goal difference.
Oh, I like that guy's hair.
All blue.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
blue cornrows.
Cornrows, man.
Somebody for Hampton better have those this fall.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be nice Lowco connection there. But while the Copa America has been going on, we've also had the European Championship.
Yes.
And how about that finish with the England? I mentioned this on the interview with Coach Huff, because he's from England, so I had to give a shout out to.
That's right.
Crazy. You may have to pull this one up. It's so good, but Jude Bellingham in the second to last minute of stoppage time on a bicycle kick to tie the game. I mean, just one of the most iconic goals I have seen in international soccer. I mean, just incredible.
Sometimes
know.
we get in trouble when we show these videos, but
All right, maybe we'll.
not we don't get in trouble, but they get clipped out
All
because
right. Well, let's if that's
because they're not.
I can explain.
No, we're watching it. We're
Right.
watching it. I'm just saying it might not be there. This might be the only time you get to see it because it might disappear later. This part of the video, because I never know.
What a goal!
This is
that's right.
Fox Sports. Fox Sports.
That was in what was that?
Wasn't
that an extra time or was it right before extra time in the second half?
It was right before. Yeah, it was stoppage time.
Yeah, see, I would watch more soccer if there were more goals like this. Most of them are
so good. I think there was a video. I don't know if I can. I don't know if you'll be able to find it, but there was a video of England fans singing "Hey Jude."
I bet they were.
Beatles, "Hey Jude."
I bet they
were.
That
was the funniest thing, dude.
Because that was exactly what I thought, and then you said "Hey Jude," and I was like, "Yep, that's what I was thinking."
British soccer fans are the best because they come up with some of the most random stuff during a match. It is so funny. You can find a video. You can find it on YouTube. You can find a video on YouTube of all the best chants they could possibly come up with, and there's a compilation of it on YouTube. It's so funny.
They have songs like every player. It's crazy.
Yeah. You should come in the Waves dugout and hear some of the songs I make up while the game's going on.
Hey,
dude, I tell you what. I will say this.
It's kind of like football, especially softball. Softball,
softball. Yeah. I came up. I made up my own softball chant, by the way. It's for when you get hit by a pitch. Somebody says, "Hey, ladies," and then the rest go, "Yeah." And she goes, "What's the latest fashion?" And everybody says, "She's wearing it. She's wearing it." That's good, right? It's good.
See, we would just say, "Oh, we got ice. Don't worry, we got ice."
But she's wearing it. What's the latest fashion? She's wearing it. I mean, that's pretty good.
I tell you what,
good, I gotta say.
Dugouts for high school, middle school, and elementary, like baseball and stuff like that, and softball, come up with some of the greatest chants. High school.
See, the boys don't really do the chants so much. But man, they're sharp and witty at this point.
Yeah,
though.
We used to do.
They'll hit you with a no ditty in a heartbeat if you say something even remotely that can be misconstrued. They'll hit you with a no ditty.
We just do random. We just do random stuff like we'd like bark. We'd be like the seagulls from Finding Nemo.
Oh yeah. More. Well, yeah, we do that like when we want the guy to get more of a lead. More.
It's a classic.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we definitely get some of that. But we also we can't stand the super obnoxious dugouts. Yeah. So we're a little more chill. We're not trying to harass the pitcher. At least it's cheer on your guy.
It's so funny when we can crack a joke and make the pitcher laugh while he's standing on the mound. That is the best. If you can make the pitcher laugh, you've made it in that
game. Yeah. Man, that Warner Robins team was impressive. Whew. I mean, they play some really good baseball in Warner Robins. You go back and look through the history of Little League baseball, and you'll see
they were always there.
Warner Robins. Yeah. That is a baseball hungry place, and I think this team has drawn from a pretty good radius around Warner Robins too. So they were stacked. I'll probably track that team and see how many of those guys end up going and playing D1 baseball, because it was some guys who were advanced hitters, and we knew that even and kind of tried to defend it, because we knew we're gonna pitch them away. It's kind of what we do, and we could see they're the kind of team that you pitch them away, they're gonna hit it backside. They're gonna work the backside to death. And so we kind of tried to overshift to the weak side and try to take some away. It didn't matter, man. They hit it in the gap wherever the outfielders were standing. They were good.
I mean,
and if you messed up and left one over the middle of the plate and you were dramatically shifted, it was going in the right field corner to a left-hander, and it was going to be a triple.
I mean,
they ran the bases
those Warner Robin fields in Georgia are, I think, one of those like little league centers in terms of like a
Yeah,
regional outlook.
it is like it's like a hub.
Like some of the best kids are playing there if they're
Yeah.
I remember playing some of those teams, and it was always frustrating because I knew we're gonna be in for
Well,
quite a
plus
game.
they had a freaking dude who was throwing like 78, 79 from 54 feet, which
Jeez.
I'm glad I didn't have to stand in there. And to our kids' credit, a couple of them got some nice ropes off of him. We just couldn't get them out. It was hard to get them out.
Yeah.
And we were kind of out of gas. I mean, we had won 3. First one was pretty easy. It shouldn't have been, but it was. We just played better.
I think if that,
and then the last one we really had to kind of battle for, and then and we didn't have enough left for that fight. That particular fight.
I think if you play, I think it'd be so much better if y'all would have played Warner Robins like middle of the pack of those games. I think
Like if we played them in a
y'all
one-off game, our best guy against their best guy, they beat us, but it's competitive.
Right,
And
exactly.
it wasn't particularly competitive because they put up a bunch in the first inning, and we were just kind of out of it. But our kids didn't lay down after that. They kept playing hard, put up a couple runs, So it was cool. But always good to see how our kids do. I do know there was at least I know there were a lot of other baseball teams. We're not shorting anybody on purpose. I know there were other travel baseball teams that did big things this weekend. I do know for sure that the Diamond Devils team that's coached by Danny Morgan used to be the Waves team, but they've had to partner up with some guys from other towns and make it more of a showcase team at this point. But they won the CABA Woodbat World Series in Columbia, walk-off win at Founders Park for the title. So that's pretty cool.
That is really
sure
cool.
there are others who did big things this weekend. Again, not trying to leave anybody out. I just happen to know about that one. Let's see who else. I also know that 5-star National Wilson 13U out of Savannah does have one local kid, Derek Blessy, on it. Played JV at May River as a 7th grader. I had him when he was 5, and I put him at third base because he had a strong arm. But then I saw him throw one across to first base and had a moment of panic about that first baseman trying to catch it, and was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm sorry, but you got to play first base from now on. We can't have you throwing it to anybody."
Jeez.
I was like, "This kid's crazy good." I know he had a good weekend, and I saw a highlight of him come across Twitter from Perfect Game, so that was cool. Always cool when a kid since he was a baby comes across the Perfect Game Twitter.
Yeah.
With the highlight, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Diamond Devils Morgan beat Diamond Devils McConnell for the championship 4-3 and a walk-off. I don't know. I think it's not a local guy who got the game-winning hit, Barry, with the double, but he did score. Micah Morgan, May River kid, who's Danny's nephew, who doubled to lead off the inning. So scored the winning run. And Micah pitched a little bit too. Yeah, they got kids from all over now on that team, but Logan Cotter from JP2's on there. Micah, Eli Morgan from Hilton Head Christian Academy. So they got a few local kids still in the mix there. So congrats to them. Anything else you boys got on the docket tonight?
I'm trying to think. I had one. I can't think of it now. Sorry, I'm paying attention way too much to this USA game.
I do know this: the 6 and under softball All Stars. Everybody else lost, but the 6 and under softball All Stars, coached by Hilton Head Prep legend Deontay Scott, ended up as the state runner-up.
Very nice.
I don't know how many 6 and under softball All-Star teams there are in the state. I think there were only like 8 or something like that, maybe even 4. Bluffton and Buford both got in automatically. So it is what it is. But at the very least, we're doing the second best right now in the state at 6-under softball. So that's a good sign for the future at some point. That all comes home to roost. And Deontay Scott is like all in on coaching girls in youth softball, which is a big win for the area because I've seen his energy out there, and it's a beautiful thing. So we'll get him on sometime to talk about his. We'll remember some guys and some games and stuff like that, and we'll talk about his transition to being a dad and coaching youth sports, which is a wonderful endeavor. I can speak to its benefits, and also to the danger of how much of your time, energy, and mental energy especially will go over to it. It will become a little bit of an obsession. Can't sell the kids short, man. You got to give them as much as you can give them.
Right.
And it becomes a thing, but it's all worth it. Anything else, boys?
I do have something.
Yeah, what do you got?
I was trying to look this up. I don't know if you boys saw this, but for the upcoming Home Run Derby in the Major League All-Star Week this year, they have changed the rules and format to the Home Run Derby for this year. So
I'm intrigued.
The difference is in the first round, you have 8 hitters as per usual. The top 4 advance. So the top 4 with the most home runs advance to the semifinal round. And a tie is broken by the longest home run in the first round.
If I'm not mistaken, the new Home Run Derby format is the old Home Run Derby format. Isn't that
technically yes?
How it used to be?
I think the difference is there's no outs. So I think it's a time format.
It's not like before where you have 10 outs, you have however many minutes.
And then for the semifinals, obviously it goes to bracket style. So the number 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and then the final top faces off.
That's a positive. That's a good change because I've always hated how like a guy could have the second most home runs in the first round and not advance because he matched up against the guy who hit the most.
Wait. I'm sorry. I didn't see this. They did change it back to outs, which I'm kind of surprised about. So it's 3-minute. This is unusual. 3-minute round, 40 pitches, 1 timeout. So they have 3 bonus rounds, 3 bonus outs. Every swing is a home run or an out. A 425-foot homer in the bonus period earns a 4th bonus out. I'm kind of intrigued how this is going to work, but okay. And then the finals is a 2-minute round, 27 pitches, a 1 timeout, and the same bonus rules apply to the first round and the semifinal rounds. So they are kind of going back to that out kind of format.
Yeah. I like the improvements.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always down for a change just because it makes it more interesting. At least that's part of it. Is like at least you get to kind of analyze how the change impacted it and whether it was better or worse. Like, but I haven't liked. I feel like I haven't liked the last couple because for one. It was too many. You had to do it too many times. Like, so guys were like, if you had a really good first round, you'd swing yourself out, and then by the time you got to the finals, you were dead. Julio Rodriguez had that like epic first round, and then he was just dead by the end. So I kind of like how this goes. I like it. This is probably way before you guys' time, but when I was a kid and the Cubs would be in rain delay, WGN would show a very old show called Home Run Derby, which clearly this was a time when Major League Baseball players were not paid nearly as much as they are now. So they had to do whatever they could do to make money in the off season. And at some point they started making a TV show called Home Run Derby, and they did it in Wrigley Field. And you could tell it was filmed in the off season in the winter because the ivy was all dead as doornail. You could just see the brick walls, and it was like legendary dudes. It would be like, I'd turn it on and it'd be like Ted Williams against Harmon Killebrew in a home run derby, and it was 9 innings, 3 outs per inning. And so you went and you hit as many home runs as you could hit in 3 outs, and then the other guy came up to bat, and it was like a half-hour TV show, and you go to timeout after, or go to commercial break every 3 innings or whatever. And man, I was glued to it. It was so
I gotta
awesome
watch it now. I
to
gotta see if
watch
I can
these
find
like
it.
legendary Hall of Fame hitters, play home run derby. And I'd always root for Ernie Banks, of course, and it was super cool. I wish there was enough motivation for players to do something like that in the off season now, but I think those days have passed.
It's different now. I think there's the TikTok and social media of the world. The people want
Well, and they don't need to. They make enough money
a
now.
half-hour show. They need like a 10-second TikTok.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Half hour is far too long for today's attention spans.
I'd still watch it now.
I was
I can find that show.
I was proud, man. Our boys were like locked into that Braves Pirates game. Like, not obviously entirely locked in for the whole game, but like they were in it. Like they knew what was going on. They were paying attention. A couple of them wandered off and went and explored the ballpark, but can't fault them for that. But yeah, they were in it to the end. That was cool. It was just fun to watch a ball game with them. Usually they're in the heat of battle when I'm watching them and with them. It's a little different.
Right.
Another baseball regarding thing. It's Bobby Bonilla Day today.
It is. Yeah, my daughter's birthday is Bobby Bonilla Day. I think that's kind of cool. For those who don't know, Bobby Bonilla, 61 years old now. All-star when I was a kid. I mean, a long time ago in the 90s. Got a contract from the Mets that continues to pay him $1.2 million every year on July 1st until 2035.
2035 is when he stops his last year. That is the funniest thing. I'm just like, this dude gets a paycheck. He doesn't have to do anything. He just gets a $1.2 million paycheck every year.
What a genius idea.
And he's not the only one. I mean, he's not the only one either.
He probably technically lost money by signing his contract that way, because future value of money is less than current value of money.
Agreed.
But what he did was like give himself the most incredible safety net, that even if he does something incredibly stupid in any given year, all he's got to do is make it to July 1st, and he's getting another $1.2 million.
The funniest thing is, he's not the only one who gets paid in July for players who don't play anymore. For instance, Ken Griffey Jr. He still gets paid every year. Manny Ramirez still gets paid every year. Chris Davis.
Oh well, everybody's doing it now. Yeah, I mean, it's like defer that money.
Chris Davis gets paid $9.2 million every year.
Wait, left-handed Chris Davis or right-handed Chris Davis?
Baltimore Chris Davis.
Okay, Baltimore Chris Davis. Yeah.
And he gets paid around $9.2 million a year.
That's left-handed.
Which I find insane.
Wow.
He doesn't really play anymore. So
he hasn't played for quite some time.
So I always find it great to see some of these players that don't play anymore still get paid a decent amount of money from their teams.
I love the deferred money. Like we're talking about, you're still getting paid for years and years. I love it from the player standpoint. But B, you're also setting your team up with a contract that gives them a better chance to compete while you're there. I mean, I like the idea. How much money do you need right now? Like, you're fine. You're fine. It's not a payday loan. It'll be good. But no, Bobby Bonilla Day is a wonderful holiday. I agree. Good call. The Lowco Booster Club supports us, so please support them. The Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court, are Lowco natives with Charter One Realty who want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Revive Rehab Women's Health and Pelvic Floor Physical Therapy is in downtown Bluffton, and Dr. Allie and Dr. Jen want to work with new moms to get them feeling right and back on their feet again. Eagle Creations has promotional items and custom apparel, and they're the host of the Lowco Swag Shop, so check that out. See if we got the link handy. We do. Let's drop it in the comments, as is the new custom. Get your Lowco merch at the Lowco Swag Shop in the comments. Did you order some?
I did order some. I ordered some earlier. So
nice.
it should be coming in soon.
I was gonna eventually get you some, but you know, you can order some and then I'll replace it later with replacement pieces as needed. But that way you got to pick your own too.
Yeah.
But Eagle Creations has provided that shop for us, so go check it out, and everybody wins. They're a Lowco sponsor. Both of us benefit when you order Lowco merch through the Eagle Creations web shop, and go check out their shop over on Argent Boulevard and see if there's anything they can do for you as far as promotional items and custom apparel. Jay's Barbershop in downtown Ridgeland, great place to go in and get some conversation and come out looking stylish. A great place to be in downtown Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Jay's Barbershop. And Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, getting your floors so clean your feet will thank you. Chris Odom is the man when it comes to getting those floors clean. We also want to shout out the presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We got Hudson Seafood on the docks. You know, you may be avoiding Hilton Head until, you know, like September. We wouldn't blame you if you don't live there. But if you do make your way, you only have to make it to the north end, Squire Pup Road, right there, make a left, and you can go get some amazing seafood. They grow their own oyster beds. They got fresh shrimp. Just the best, freshest seafood, and a Hilton Head institution. You know, they do the annual Thanksgiving dinner there. It's just a cool place. So shout out to Hudson Seafood on the docks and to Hearth Wood Fire Pizza, big supporter of LowcoSports, for calling them a Lowco Booster Club member. We're looking for new members for the new school year, so get in touch if you want to become a sponsor at LowcoSports@gmail.com, or you know where to find us online. Fellas, parting thoughts before we call it a night? Anything, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing these state tournaments getting started over on the Diamond Youth Baseball side, especially starting on Friday. I am pumped to see that those Hilton Head teams compete. Hilton Head repping a good part of the Loco as we move on towards this. You know, we had the softball teams compete, but these baseball squads, especially those younger teams I got to watch, that 8U, the 8U team really impressed me. It was great to talk with the coaches, one of the coaches, and I was just really super intrigued by the way that he's been working with those kids and the way they've been hitting out there and the way they play defense, because that's an important part of, of deciding who advances through that tournament. So
it's probably the most important part, honestly. Defense is everything. It really is. They can't beat you if they can't score.
Right. I mean, you can make those plays.
Good defense neutralizes good hitting. So, I mean, to a point, obviously, if you can hit enough, if you hit it over the fence, there ain't no way to defend that. But if you throw strikes and play clean defense, make the routine plays, it's hard to lose. And those teams are well trained for that. You know, they've played a lot of baseball together. So they're well trained for that. I expect them to do well, all levels. The 12U is pretty good too. I get to see them tomorrow night because they're looking for a scrimmage. So they put together some kind of little ragtag pickup team to scrimmage them, and I got the call to see if Truman wanted to come. So we're gonna go do that. Chance to play baseball. Can't beat that. So we're gonna, with some buddies, some buddies invited him to tag along. So we'll go do that. We don't have practice or anything. And I look forward to talking with the coaches and seeing that team. I think that one's coached by DeZenzel, which, I told you about meeting the DeZenzels, the grandparents. The DeZenzels were at the Braves game, and somehow the Fontanas and the DeZenzels made contact and found each other. So at one point we were all waving to somebody, and I didn't even know who, and it was the DeZenzels. So I look forward to connecting with Coach tomorrow if I can, and hopefully I can report Wednesday night more about that 12U team and maybe even get a little interview or something. So, or get us set up for a guest. That'd be even better. So, anything else from you, Maxie?
No. I mean, it's gonna be a great holiday weekend. It's busy around here this week, so
busiest week of the year in the island.
Sure.
I bet. I'm staying away. Oh, actually, I
got
gotta come Wednesday for Under the Bus.
And I mean, I got extended family in town this week, so I'm gonna spend as much time as I possibly can with them. And I'm just looking forward to just relaxing, having a great time, and paying attention to local sports.
Yeah, there should be. We think about the NFL does their Thanksgiving games every year, and NBA for Christmas. Major League Baseball should adopt like a 4th of July special where you have rivalry games like Red Sox, Yankees, and Cardinals, and like
I think a 4th of July game should be played at the Field of Dreams.
I do too.
Yep.
And like I think everybody should play like alternate sites or something. Like that would be cool.
Braves at
I don't
Grayson
know.
Stadium.
No, they could go back and play at Turner.
Yeah. Well,
no, that would be it would be a
logistical.
It would be a logistical nightmare. So that would probably never work. But I like your idea of there being some kind of special something to July 4th, because we got like Phillies, Cubs, Giants, Braves, Mets, Nationals, Cardinals, Pirates, Reds, Yankees, Astros, Blue Jays, White Sox, Guardians. Just
why can't they have like
total
Yankees?
Blah matchup.
Why can't they have like for July 4th have Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Cardinals, stuff like that?
Or at least if you're gonna have interleague matchups, have them be like Cubs, White Sox, Yankees, Mets.
Yeah.
Like make them be like the rivalry.
Oh, I would love. I think it would be fantastic to have a
Dodgers, Angels. Like. 100%. I don't know who you would match everybody up, but there would at least be like 6 or 7 that were like blood feuds, so that would be cool. I mean, they do a good job of spreading out the start times that day, so you can watch baseball all day long. 11:05 start in DC, and
I
then
unfortunately have to work.
and then they go all day long. Oh, people will be totally chill at Publix on 4th of July, though, right?
I hope so. God, I hope so.
I'm joking. Of course they won't. They'll be in a panic.
I can only
9:10 is your last start, so it's it's a good 10 hours worth of 13 hours worth of baseball before it's all said and done.
Nice.
So that's a beautiful thing. Can't argue with
that.
Absolutely. Plus, there's hot dog eating, but Kobayashi's out. And Joey Chestnut's out.
Joey Chestnut's out too.
I guess a new star will be born, right? Somebody whose name we don't know will win the hot dog eating contest.
Excitement when you have it's a wide open field.
I can't watch the hot dog eating contest. I would throw up if I tried to watch that.
It's weird It's weird thinking that there's not going to be a hot dog contest with Joey Chestnut in it.
Right. I mean, it's a stuff of legend at this point. I mean, he represents the American culture. I mean, I know there are people who could care less for a major league eating contest, but that's the country, and he is a well-known figure because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Brondo's got what plants crave, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do? If you got that reference, we can be friends. I do have. I have nothing against hot dogs. I want to make that very.
Hey,
clear.
I'll enjoy a ballpark hot dog.
Look, I took down this foot long beauty with mustard and relish at Truist Park the other night. My boy Pete Fontana said, "Turn around here and let me take a picture of you with that hot dog." And
you didn't dunk that hot dog in water and just chow down on it.
I did eat it. Pete can attest that I did eat it at like borderline chestnut speeds because it was so good. But I did not take down like 58 more of them after that one with several gallons of water.
God,
so gross. All right, boys. Well, with that, we will leave these good people and let them get some rest. But it's been a great Loco Sports Lowdown. Thanks to Jonathan Kelley for jumping on with this. Great to talk with him. Thanks to all of our sponsors who make all this possible. And thanks to you for showing up to Listener Watch. Max and Wes, always a blast talking with you guys. What do you say we do it again Wednesday night? send people
Yes,
into the
sir.
holiday on the right note. All right, let's do it. We'll see you Wednesday night for Wes Kerr, Worldwide Wes Kerr, and Mad Max Arraj. I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go